You've probably heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? It's this absolute global phenomenon that pretty much changed how millions of people think about money. But here's the thing, it's a book born from a very American point of view. So the big question for us is, do those famous principles actually work here? So let's dive in. Let's take these famous fundas and really see, can they actually help you build wealth right here in India?
So the whole book, the entire foundation, it's built on this really simple story of Robert Kiyosaki's two fathers. You had his real dad, his poor dad, who was super educated but always struggled with money. And then you had his best friend's dad, his rich dad, a school dropout who became an entrepreneur.
And wow, this slide just nails the core conflict, doesn't it? Imagine growing up hearing two completely opposite things. On one side, his poor dad would say money is the root of all evil. And on the other, his rich dad would teach him, no, the lack of money is the root of all evil. It's two totally different worlds colliding.
And this, right here, is where you see the huge split in how they thought. Poor dad had the degrees, the good job, but was always broke. His default thinking was just a dead end. I can't afford it. But rich dad, he built an empire by turning that statement into a question. How can I afford it? That little shift is everything. One phrase just shuts your brain down, while the other kicks it into gear to find solutions.
Okay, so this massive difference in mindset, it leads us to what is probably the single most important idea in the entire book. It's an idea that will completely change how you look at everything you own.
It's so simple, it's brilliant. According to Rich Dad, an asset isn't just something you own that's valuable. An asset is anything that actively puts money into your pocket. You know, like a flat that's bringing in rent every single month, or stocks that pay you dividends. It's an income machine.
And then you've got the flip side, a liability. This is anything that's constantly taking money out of your pocket. Think about your car EMI, your credit card bills, anything that's a constant drain on your finances without putting anything back in.
And here is the trap. When people spend their entire lives buying liabilities they think are assets, they get stuck in what Kiyosaki famously calls the rat race. It's that exhausting, endless cycle, right? You wake up, go to work, earn a paycheck, pay all the bills, and there's nothing left. So you have to get up and do it all over again, day after day.
Okay, so this leads us to the most controversial question in the whole book. Seriously, it's a question that challenges something that, especially here in India, we hold as an absolute truth. Is the home you live in an asset? And the answer, it's a shocker for most people. According to Rich Dad, the answer is no. Your primary home is a liability. Now why? Well, think about it. Every single month, it takes money out of your pocket. You've got the home loan, property taxes, maintenance, repairs. It's a constant cash drain, not a source of cash.
So, okay, understanding this whole asset versus liability thing, that's the key. That's how you get out of the rat race. And luckily, Kiyosaki gives us a map for how to do it. He calls it the cash flow quadrant.
Look at this model. It's actually pretty straightforward. The entire game, the whole goal, is to move from the left side of this quadrant over to the right side. It's a journey from earning active income, where you have to trade your time for money, to passive income, where your money starts working for you.
So on the left, you have E for employee, you have a job, and S for self-employed, you own a job. Think of a doctor or a small shopkeeper. If they don't show up to work, the money stops. The right side is where the magic happens. B is for business owner, where you own a system that makes money even when you're not there. And I is for investor, where your money itself is your employee, working 24/7 to make you more money. Real financial freedom, it lives on the right side.
All right, so that's the big theory, the stuff that sold millions of books all over the world. But now we get to the real question we came here to answer. How in the world do we apply these principles, these fundas, right here in India?
Yeah, the theory sounds great, right? But our system, it's different. We've got our own unique tax laws, our own regulations, and a totally different cultural approach to things like family and money. So, does the model still hold up?
And look, this isn't just some academic debate we're having. People are actually asking this stuff. This user on the India investment subreddit is basically saying, hey, I've read the book, I get the idea, but how do I, a regular salaried person in India, actually do this?
So one of Rich Dad's biggest pieces of advice is to use formal companies, corporations, to build your wealth. Why? Well, it's all about the tax advantages. And the discussion on Reddit really zeroes in on this idea, exploring how we can use a formal legal structure to hold our assets and get those benefits here in India.
And this is where we get to the heart of the great Indian debate.
Because when you try to apply this strategy here, you basically run into two main options, and it's not always clear which one is the right move.
Okay, so this table breaks down the two big options people are talking about online. On one hand, you have the private limited company. This is the modern, formal business route. Anyone can do it, it's very flexible, but the compliance costs are high and getting loans can be tough at first. On the other hand, you've got the HUF, the Hindu Undivided Family. This is a uniquely Indian thing. It's way cheaper, much easier to manage, and it's amazing for splitting family income to save on taxes. But here's the catch. It's not for everyone. It's limited by religion.
So what's the verdict from the people actually discussing this? Well, it's pretty clear. While a private limited company has its uses, for a lot of families who are eligible, the HUF is seen as our own Desi answer to Kiyosaki's strategy. It's a simpler, more tax-efficient way to hold family assets.
Okay, but look, after getting all tangled up in tax laws and company structures, it's so important to zoom back out. We need to remember the book's real fundamental lesson, which has nothing to do with legal paperwork.
And here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. The goal isn't just to find some clever tax loophole. The single most powerful tool you have for building wealth isn't a company or a stock, it's the knowledge that you build inside your own mind.
You see, at the end of the day, the real lesson from this book, whether you live in Mumbai or Manhattan, it's not about which legal form to fill out. It's about financial literacy. It's about truly, deeply understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. It's about understanding how money flows. It's about learning how to make money work for you instead of spending your life working for it. That knowledge, that is the real asset.
So, does it work in India? Yeah, the core principles absolutely do, even if the tactics have to be a little different. The journey to financial freedom doesn't start with hiring a CA. It starts with you deciding to learn. So the real question isn't, what would Rich Dad do? The real question is, what are you going to do? What's your first step?